The paper lay on my kitchen table between us. Legal documents with official letterhead. My daughter Rebecca sat across from me, arms crossed, jaw set in that stubborn line I'd seen since she was 5 years old. "Sign it, Dad," she said. Her voice carried no warmth, no trace of the little girl who used to climb into my lap for bedtime stories. I picked up the first page. Power of attorney documents. My signature would give her complete control over my finances, my property, my medical decisions, everything. "Rebecca, I don't understand. Why now?" She leaned forward. Her engagement ring caught the morning light. 3 carats. Expensive. Too expensive for a substitute teacher and her unemployed fiancé. "Because you're 72 years old, Dad, living alone in this big house. What happens when you fall down those stairs? What happens when you forget to turn off the stove?" "I'm fine." "Are you? Last month you called me 3 times asking where you put your car keys." "That was true, but I'd found them. In the refrigerator, which was concerning, but I'd found them." "Rebecca, this gives you power over everything I own." Her expression hardened. "Good, because you're not making rational decisions anymore." I looked at the second document. Healthcare directive. The third made my stomach drop. Residential care agreement. Pine Valley Senior Living, starting next month. "You want to put me in a nursing home?" "It's assisted living. Very nice. I toured it last week." "Without asking me." She stood up, paced to the window. Outside, my 4-year-old grandson Danny was playing in the backyard, chasing butterflies. His laughter drifted through the glass. "Sign the papers, Dad." "And if I don't?" She turned back to me. Her face was cold, clinical. "Then you'll never see Danny again." The words hit me like a physical blow. Danny, my only grandchild, the light of my life since Rebecca's divorce 2 years ago. "You can't be serious." "I'm completely serious. Kevin and I are moving to Portland next month, after we get married. If you don't sign these papers, if you don't cooperate with this transition, you'll never see your grandson again." Kevin, her fiancé, unemployed for 8 months, living in my daughter's apartment, driving her car, spending her money. "Rebecca, please, let's talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about. Sign the papers or lose Danny forever. Your choice." She sat back down, pulled out her phone, started scrolling like this was a casual conversation. I stared at the documents, at my daughter's cold face, at my grandson playing innocently in the yard. "I need time to think." "You have until tonight. Kevin and I are flying to Portland tomorrow to finalize the job interviews. If these papers aren't signed and notarized by then, we're not coming back." What I went through was very heavy for me. Being tested by your own child and your grandchild is not easy. Have you ever experienced something similar? Share your story in the comments. Let's talk about it together. After Rebecca left, I sat in my kitchen for an hour, staring at the papers, thinking about Danny's laugh, his small hand in mine when we walked to the park. At 2 o'clock, I called my lawyer. "Harrison, it's George. I need to see you today." "Of course. What's the urgency?" "My daughter wants me to sign power of attorney documents and some other things. I need you to look at them." "Bring them down. I'll squeeze you in at 4. Harrison's office was downtown, same building where he'd practiced law for 30 years, same desk where we'd drawn up my will after my wife died. He read through the documents slowly. His expression grew grimmer with each page. "George, do you understand what you'd be signing? Complete control to Rebecca. More than that. Look at this clause." He pointed to paragraph 7. "She could sell your house immediately, transfer your assets to herself, put you in any facility she chooses. Can she do that legally? If you sign this, yes, there are no restrictions, no oversight. This isn't a standard power of attorney. This is designed to strip you of all rights." I felt sick. What about the healthcare directive? Even worse. She could refuse medical treatment for you, or authorize treatments you don't want, including psychiatric medication. Psychiatric medication? It's common in these cases. Family member claims the elderly parent is mentally incompetent, has them medicated, makes it easier to control them. The room was spinning. "Harrison, what do I do?" "Don't sign anything. Let me draw up a proper power of attorney, one with safeguards, or better yet, set up a trust. She said she'll take Danny to Portland, that I'll never see him again if I don't sign." Harrison leaned back in his chair. "George, has Rebecca been having financial problems?" The question surprised me. "I think so." "Why?" "This isn't about your safety or your health. This is about money. How much are your assets worth?" I thought about it. "The house is worth $400,000. Savings and retirement accounts maybe another $600,000. $1 million. That's powerful motivation. But she's my daughter. Family members commit elder abuse more often than strangers. I see it every month in this office. I left Harrison's office with a plan, but first I needed information. I drove to Rebecca's apartment complex, parked across the street. At 5:30, she came home from work. At 6, Kevin's car pulled up, a BMW. Expensive. I called my neighbor Ted. He'd been watching my house for 20 years when I traveled, knew everyone's business on our street. Ted, I need a favor. Can you do some research for me? What kind of research? Rebecca's fiancé, Kevin Martinez. I want to know about his background. George, is everything okay? Just curious. She's getting married next month. Ted was retired from the phone company. Still had contacts. Still knew how to find information. He called me back that evening. George, sit down. What did you find? Kevin Martinez has been arrested 3 times in the past 5 years. Fraud, identity theft, embezzlement from his last employer. That's why he's unemployed. He's unemployable. My chest tightened. Arrested 3 times. Gets worse. He's been engaged 4 times, never married. 2 of the women filed restraining orders against him. Restraining orders? Financial abuse, emotional abuse. One woman claimed he stole $60,000 from her retirement account. I sat down hard in my kitchen chair. Rebecca doesn't know, or she does know and doesn't care. George, this guy's a predator. He targets women with access to money. After Ted hung up, I sat in the dark. Rebecca was a substitute teacher, made maybe $30,000 a year, but her father had $1 million. I was the target. The next morning, I called Rebecca. Have you made your decision, Dad? I'm willing to discuss it, but I want Kevin there too. If he's going to be my son-in-law, I should get to know him better. That's not necessary. It is for me. Family dinner tonight, 6 o'clock. She hesitated. Fine, but the papers get signed tonight one way or another. I spent the day preparing, called Harrison, asked him to draft a simple will change. Nothing major. At 6 o'clock, Rebecca and Kevin arrived. Danny ran into my arms. Grandpa, look what I drew. A crayon picture of our house, stick figures labeled Grandpa and Danny holding hands. It's beautiful, buddy. We had dinner, pot roast. Kevin was charming, talked about his business plans, his love for Rebecca, his excitement about Portland. What kind of business? I asked. Consulting, import-export, international opportunities. Vague answers, no details. Professional con artist. After dinner, Rebecca brought out the papers again. Time to sign, Dad. I looked at Kevin. He was watching me intently, predatory eyes. Actually, I've been thinking, instead of power of attorney, what if I just add Rebecca to my bank accounts? Joint ownership, easier for everyone. Kevin leaned forward. That's not necessary. The power of attorney covers everything. But joint ownership is simpler. No lawyers, no fees. Rebecca and Kevin exchanged glances. She was wavering. He wasn't. Mr. Patterson, Kevin said smoothly, Rebecca and I have researched this extensively. Power of attorney is the best option for your situation. My situation? Your age, your memory issues, your living situation. What memory issues? Kevin smiled, cold. Rebecca's told me about the car keys, the missed appointments, the confusion about dates. Lies, all lies. But Rebecca nodded agreement. Dad, you need help. We're trying to help you. I looked at my grandson. He was playing with his toys in the corner. Innocent, unaware that his mother was planning to use him as blackmail. I'll think about it overnight. Kevin's smile disappeared. Mr. Patterson, we leave for Portland tomorrow morning. The papers need to be signed tonight. Then you'll have to leave without signatures. After they left, I called Harrison again. I need you to meet me early tomorrow morning, before 7, and bring a notary. George, what's happening? I'm setting a trap. The next morning at 6:30, Harrison and his notary arrived at my house. We prepared documents, real ones this time, not Rebecca's fraudulent papers. At 7 o'clock, Rebecca called. Dad, we're packing. Last chance. Come over. I've decided to sign. Really? Really. But I want to read everything one more time. With Kevin. Make sure I understand. They arrived at 8. Rebecca looked relieved. Kevin looked triumphant. Danny ran to me again. My heart broke a little more. Okay, Dad. Let's get this done. I led them to the kitchen table. The papers were spread out. Harrison sat in the rained corner, laptop open, taking notes. Officially, he was there as my attorney. Unofficially, he was recording everything. Kevin, I've been thinking about what you said last night, about my memory issues. Yes, sir. We're concerned about you. Can you give me specific examples? He looked at Rebecca. She started to speak, but he cut her off. Well, Rebecca mentioned the car keys. What about them? You lost them multiple times. I put them in the refrigerator once. Found them within an hour. Anything else? Kevin faltered. The missed appointments. Which appointments? Doctor appointments with Dr. Stevens. I smiled. Kevin, I haven't seen Dr. Stevens in 3 years. He died of a heart attack. Kevin's face went white. Rebecca, I said gently, who told you I was missing appointments with Dr. Stevens? She looked confused. Kevin said a lot of things that aren't true. I stood up, walked to my desk, came back with a folder. Kevin, I had someone look into your background. You what? 3 arrests, 4 broken engagements, 2 restraining orders. Tell me, which part of that made Rebecca fall in love with you? Rebecca stared at Kevin. Is that true? Kevin stood up. Rebecca, we need to leave, now. Is it true? She demanded. It's complicated. I opened the folder, spread the police reports on the table, the restraining orders, the court documents from his fraud conviction. Rebecca read them. Her face went from confusion to horror to rage. You lied to me. Rebecca, I can explain. You told me you were a consultant. You told me you had job interviews in Portland. I do have job interviews. Where? Kevin said nothing. Where? There are opportunities. I need time to... Rebecca slapped him hard. Danny started crying. Get out. Get out of my life right now. Kevin left. No arguments, no explanations, just gone. Rebecca collapsed in a chair. Dad, I'm so sorry. How long has he been controlling you? 8 months. Since right after I met him. He said you were getting old, that you needed help, that if I didn't act soon, you might make bad decisions with your money. And you believed him? He was so convincing. He showed me websites about elder abuse, about families who lost everything because they didn't protect their elderly parents. He said power of attorney was just a safety net. Harrison spoke for the first time. Rebecca, do you realize what you almost did to your father? She looked at the papers, really read them for the first time. Oh my God, Dad, this would have given me complete control over everything. Kevin's control, I corrected. Through you. Danny had stopped crying. He climbed into my lap. Grandpa, are you sick? No, buddy, I'm fine. Mommy said you were sick. Mommy was confused, but she's better now. Rebecca was still reading the documents. Dad, this healthcare directive, it would let me refuse medical treatment for you, or authorize treatments I don't want. Like what? Harrison answered. Psychiatric medications, to make him compliant. It's more common than you'd think. Rebecca looked sick. I almost did this to you. Kevin almost did this to me. Through you. But I went along with it. I threatened you with Danny. You were being manipulated by a professional con artist. That's not an excuse. She was right. It wasn't an excuse. But she was still my daughter. Rebecca, how long has Kevin been living with you? 6 months. Paying rent? He was going to start contributing once he found work. What about his car, that BMW? It's leased. In my name. He said his credit was temporarily bad because of identity theft. Identity theft that he committed. She nodded miserably. What else is in your name? Credit cards, a personal loan, the apartment lease. How much debt? Maybe 40,000. I whistled. In 6 months? He said it was investment. In our future. In the Portland opportunity. There is no Portland opportunity, Rebecca. Danny fell asleep in my lap. Rebecca and I talked quietly. What do I do now, Dad? First, check your credit report. See how bad the damage is. What if it's worse than I think? Then we'll figure it out. I can't afford 40,000 in debt on my salary. I looked at my grandson, sleeping peacefully, innocent of his mother's mistakes. Rebecca, I'll help with the debt, but there are conditions. Of course, anything. Kevin is completely out of your life, forever. If he contacts you, you call the police. Done. Second, you get financial counseling. Learn how to protect yourself from people like Kevin. Okay. Third, you never threaten to take Danny away from me again. Ever. She started crying. Dad, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I said that. You were desperate. People do desperate things, but it can't happen again. Never. I promise. And fourth, if you ever have concerns about my health or my judgment, you talk to me directly. Not to some con artist boyfriend. To me. I will. Harrison packed up his laptop. George, do you want me to report Kevin to the police? I thought about it. What would happen? Probably nothing. He didn't actually steal anything yet, but it might prevent him from targeting someone else. No, do it. 3 weeks later, Rebecca moved back into my house. Temporarily. Until she got her finances straightened out. Danny loved having his grandfather so close. We played in the backyard every evening. Read stories before bed. Built elaborate pillow forts in the living room. Rebecca got a second job, waitressing at night, working to pay down Kevin's debt. I helped more than I'd promised, not with money, directly, but I hired her to help me with projects around the house. Painting, organizing, garden work, paid her well for the labor. Kevin tried to contact her twice, once through social media, once by showing up at her school. She called the police both times. Harrison filed a restraining order. The police investigation revealed that Kevin had been running the same scam in 3 other cities, targeting single mothers with elderly parents. He was arrested on multiple fraud charges. Rebecca's credit was worse than we'd thought, $60,000 in debt. But we had a plan. She'd live with me for 2 years, save money on rent, use her second job income to pay down debt. We'd have it cleared in 18 months. Dad, I don't know how to thank you. You don't need to thank me. You're my daughter. I almost lost everything, including you. But you didn't. You recognized the truth when you saw it. Barely. And almost too late. 6 months later, Rebecca was doing well. Debt payments on schedule. Kevin was in prison. Danny was thriving. One evening after Danny was asleep, Rebecca and I sat on the back porch. Dad, can I ask you something? Of course. When Kevin was pushing those papers, when I was threatening you with Danny, were you scared? I thought about it. Terrified. Of losing your money? Of losing you and Danny? The money was never the point, but you could have just signed, given him what he wanted. And then what? He would have controlled everything, put me in a nursing home, taken my house, and when the money was gone, you and Danny would have been left with nothing. You saved us. You saved yourselves. When you saw the truth about Kevin, I should have seen it sooner. Rebecca, predators are skilled at what they do. They study victims. They learn exactly what to say. How do you protect yourself? Trust your instincts. Ask hard questions. And never make major decisions when you're emotional. She nodded. I was so scared about your health, about your future. Kevin used that fear against me. That's exactly what he did. Will you forgive me for threatening you with Danny? I already have. We sat in comfortable silence. Danny's bedroom window was open above us. I could hear his soft breathing. Safe, protected, home. Dad? Yes? I love you. I love you too, sweetheart. A year later, Rebecca remarried. A good man this time. A teacher like her. Someone who loved Danny. Someone who respected me. Someone who would never ask me to sign away my life. At the wedding, I walked her down the aisle. Danny was the ring bearer. He beamed with pride in his little tuxedo. During the reception, Rebecca pulled me aside. Dad, thank you. For what? For not giving up on me. For seeing past my mistakes. For protecting all of us from Kevin. That's what family does. No, that's what good family does. I'm sorry it took me so long to understand the difference. I hugged my daughter. Watched my grandson dance with his stepfather. Felt the weight of family responsibility and family love in equal measure. Sometimes people ask me what I learned from that experience. The lesson is simple. Trust is earned, not inherited. Family doesn't give you the right to exploit someone. Love sometimes means saying no, even when it's hard. And if someone ever threatens to take your grandchildren away unless you sign papers, call a lawyer first. Ask hard questions. Protect yourself and your family. Because love doesn't come with ultimatums.